The arrival of the V'Tur. The endless stars stretched across the void, their cold light shimmering in the vast expanse of space. On a remote space station, nestled among the stars, Zachary Crawford, a grizzled war veteran, sat in a dimly lit bar. The room was filled with the low hum of conversation and the clinking of glasses, but Crawford's mind was miles away. He was lost in thought, reflecting on the past, when a young journalist approached him. With a steely gaze, Crawford's voice cut through the background noise. "You want to hear about the V'Tur incursion, kid?" Crawford's voice was rough, shaped by years of combat and hardship. He leaned back in his chair, letting the metal creak under his weight. The journalist, eager and wide-eyed, nodded. "All right then, sit down and listen up," Crawford continued, his voice growing more somber. "It all started 30 years ago. The day had begun like any other, but humanity's mundane existence was shattered when the V'Tur appeared in Earth's orbit. Their massive fleet of warships, each vessel stretching an impressive 3 kilometers, cast an ominous shadow over the planet. The V'Tur commander, a ruthless tactician named Zorak, broadcasted a chilling message to all of Earth's inhabitants: surrender immediately or face annihilation. He demanded, his voice dripping with malice. Earth's defenses, meager at best, consisted of outdated space cruisers and a handful of orbital defense platforms. Panic spread like wildfire as world leaders scrambled to find a solution. Secretary General Miguel Rodriguez, representing the United Nations, attempted to negotiate with Zorak, but the V'Tur commander was unyielding. Many nations, believing surrender to be their only hope, advocated for capitulation. Yet, amidst the fear and despair, a small group of rebels emerged, determined to fight back. Captain Jack Mitchell, a fearless leader, rallied a team of elite fighters from various special forces units around the globe. Their mission was nothing short of insane: infiltrate the V'Tur flagship and disable the quantum disruptor, a planet-destroying weapon that threatened to erase humanity from existence. Crawford, one of Mitchell's team members, recounted the dire stakes. They knew they might not make it back alive, but they were prepared to sacrifice everything to give Earth a fighting chance. Mitchell devised a daring plan to hijack a V'Tur supply shuttle. Despite the risk, the team successfully intercepted the shuttle, disabled its crew, and disguised themselves in maintenance uniforms. The V'Tur, overconfident in their invincibility, didn't even bother to scan them as they docked inside the flagship. The team split up. Mitchell's group headed for the quantum disruptor, while Crawford led his team to capture the bridge. The mission quickly descended into chaos. The V'Tur guards, formidable and relentless, engaged the intruders. Crawford vividly recalled the fierce combat, where he fought against alien foes that felt like Terminators. The struggle was brutal and personal. He fought through pain and exhaustion, ultimately managing to capture the bridge, only to receive devastating news from Mitchell. The quantum disruptor couldn't be shut down without a special code known only to Zorak. In a desperate move, Mitchell decided to overload the weapon's power core, intending to destroy the dreadnought and take as many V'Tur with them as possible. Despite Crawford's pleas for an alternative, Mitchell was resolute. "He thanked me," Crawford said, his voice trembling as he drained his whiskey glass. "He thanked me for being his friend." The V'Tur flagship erupted in a blinding explosion, a final act of defiance against their invaders. Crawford witnessed the blast from the bridge viewports, the brilliant light burning his retinas. The sacrifice of Mitchell and his team saved humanity, but the battle was far from over. As Crawford and his fellow soldiers fought their way back to the shuttle, they were pursued by V'Tur fighters, their cannons blazing. The arrival of the Earth Defense Alliance's fleet, equipped with reverse-engineered V'Tur technology, turned the tide of the battle. With the sudden arrival of new allies, Crawford and his team managed to escape, their mission complete, but the war was only just beginning. The last stand of the defiant. In the cold vacuum of space, the Earth's defenders were faced with the relentless onslaught of the V'Tur invaders. The V'Tur fleet, an overwhelming armada of massive warships, hovered like a dark omen over Earth, each ship more formidable than the last. As humanity's makeshift defense forces scrambled to mount a counteroffensive, the once clear hope of survival began to fade into the bleak expanse of space. Amidst this chaos, the story of human bravery unfolded, starting with the audacious plan hatched by Captain Jack Mitchell and his team. Their mission was not just a daring raid, but a desperate gamble with the fate of Earth hanging in the balance. The VTR's flagship, a menacing leviathan known as the Quantum Disruptor, was a colossal weapon capable of erasing entire planets from existence. To neutralize this threat, Mitchell and his elite squadron had to infiltrate the very heart of the enemy fleet. In the grim interior of their shuttle, the atmosphere was thick with tension. The team's faces were set with determination, their minds focused on the task ahead. Mitchell's plan was both brilliant and reckless. Hijack a VTR supply shuttle, slip undetected into the flagship, and disable the Quantum Disruptor. The risks were astronomical, but so was the potential reward. As the supply shuttle approached the V flagship, the crew executed their plan with military precision. They disabled the VTR crew, donned their uniforms, and took their places among the VTR ranks. The aliens, confident in their superiority, failed to conduct the thorough security checks that might have revealed the intruders. The humans were inside. Mitchell's team split up. One group headed towards the Quantum Disruptor, while Crawford and his squad aimed for the command bridge. The corridors of the V flagship were dimly lit, their alien architecture a stark contrast to human technology. Every step was fraught with danger, every shadow a potential threat. Inside the flagship's bowels, the human soldiers moved with practiced stealth, yet their presence did not go unnoticed for long. VTR guards, with their heightened senses and formidable reflexes, soon caught wind of the intrusion. What began as a silent infiltration quickly devolved into a furious firefight. The VTR guards, clad in their menacing black armor, proved to be fierce adversaries. Crawford's squad fought their way through the bridge's defenses, each soldier displaying a remarkable blend of skill and grit. The battle was fierce, with plasma blasts and energy beams lighting up the narrow corridors. Crawford, his plasma rifle spitting fire, felt the heat of combat as VTR guards pressed in from all sides. Despite the odds, they managed to secure the bridge, but the victory was bittersweet. The real challenge awaited them: the Quantum Disruptor. Mitchell's team had managed to reach the weapon's core, only to discover a grim reality. The device was protected by a complex security system, a code only the VTR commander, Zorak, possessed. Mitchell's voice came over the comms, strained but resolute. Unable to disable the Quantum Disruptor, he was left with a stark choice: overload its power core and destroy the ship, along with himself, to prevent Earth's destruction. Crawford's heart ached as he heard Mitchell's final message. The decision was made. Mitchell would sacrifice himself to save humanity. As Crawford watched from the bridge, the V flagship erupted in a cataclysmic explosion. The sight of the explosion was seared into his memory, a blinding flash that marked the end of the V flagship and, for a time, the VTR threat. The explosion's aftermath left Crawford and the surviving members of the mission grappling with the enormity of their loss. Mitchell's sacrifice had given Earth a fighting chance, but the battle was far from over. As Crawford's shuttle limped back to Earth, it was clear that the fight against the VTR was just beginning. The tide turns. The battle's immediate aftermath saw the Earth Defense Alliance, EDA, regrouping and taking stock of the devastating losses. The VTR fleet had been momentarily halted, but the threat was far from eradicated. The human forces, battered but unbowed, faced a grim reality. Zorak, the VTR commander, was still at large, and the VTR's retreat was likely part of a larger, more insidious plan. On board the EDA's flagship, the Retribution, Admiral Elena Ivanova was a beacon of determination amidst the chaos. The damage reports and casualty lists were overwhelming, but the sight of Earth's surviving forces rallying together provided a glimmer of hope. The arrival of the EDA fleet, with its newly reverse-engineered VTR technology, was a turning point. The humans now had a fighting chance, and Ivanova knew they needed to capitalize on it. The EDA's command center was a hive of activity as the newly unified global forces prepared for the next phase of the war. As Ivanova surveyed the scene, her face was a mask of steely resolve. She knew that the VTR would not rest. They would return. And when they did, humanity needed to be ready. In the midst of this tense environment, Crawford found himself thrust back into the fray. The sacrifice of Mitchell had not been in vain, but the battle was only a precursor to the larger conflict that loomed ahead. The EDA's victory had been hard-won, but the retreat of the VTR was a temporary reprieve, not the end of their campaign. As the EDA fleet engaged the VTR in a fierce space battle, Crawford's shuttle narrowly escaped the onslaught. The sight of the alien warships, still menacing and defiant, reminded him of the gravity of their situation. Earth had been saved, but the war was far from over. The VTR's retreat might have provided a temporary lull, but it also signaled a new phase in their strategy. The battle had shown humanity's capability to stand against overwhelming odds, but the EDA needed to consolidate its gains and prepare for the inevitable resurgence of the VTR. The fight had become a global struggle, and Earth's defenders had to rise to the challenge. The losses were immense, but the resolve of humanity was unshaken. Shadows of the past. In the wake of the VTR's retreat, the Earth Defense Alliance, EDA, began the painstaking process of rebuilding and reorganization. The once fractured global forces were now united under a single banner, but the cost of the recent conflict was heavy. The debris from the battle still orbited Earth, a stark reminder of the narrow escape from annihilation. Amidst the reconstruction efforts, Major Zachary Crawford was given a new mission. The battle for Earth had ended, but the war was far from over. The VTR's sudden withdrawal had been unexpected, and the EDA needed to understand their enemy better to prepare for the next encounter. Crawford was tasked with leading a covert reconnaissance mission into VTR space to gather critical intelligence on their capabilities and weaknesses. The briefing room was filled with the hum of tense anticipation as Admiral Ivanova outlined the mission. The EDA's newly designed stealth ship, the Phantom, would be the vehicle for this dangerous endeavor. The Phantom was equipped with state-of-the-art cloaking technology and advanced sensors designed to infiltrate enemy territory without detection. Crawford assembled his team, a group of highly skilled individuals chosen for their unique expertise. Captain Jake Hawkins, Dr. Lena Sensen, and Lieutenant Marcus Ghost Steele were his chosen allies. Each had proven their mettle in previous battles and possessed the skills necessary for this critical mission. As the Phantom prepared for departure, the weight of the task ahead was palpable. The crew was well aware that their mission was not only dangerous, but also crucial to humanity's survival. The VTR had shown themselves to be a formidable enemy, and understanding their full scope of power was imperative. The Phantom's departure was marked by a mixture of trepidation and resolve. The ship slipped into the vast unknown, its cloaking field rendering it nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. As they ventured deeper into VTR territory, the crew remained vigilant, aware that their every move could mean the difference between success and failure. The mission took on a new urgency when a priority transmission from EDA Command crackled across the Phantom's comms. Admiral Ivanova's grim visage filled the view screen as she delivered unsettling news. The VTR's invasion of Earth was only a small part of a larger plan involving the subjugation of countless alien races across the galaxy. The Phantom's mission was now more critical than ever. With the stakes higher than ever, Crawford and his team pressed on into the heart of VTR space. The crew's resolve was steeled by the knowledge that they were humanity's best hope against a vast and tyrannical empire. Each member of the team was driven by a sense of duty and the knowledge that their actions could determine the fate of countless lives. Unveiling the secrets. As the Phantom ventured deeper into VTR space, the crew faced an increasing sense of foreboding. The galaxy's dark expanse seemed to close in around them, filled with the unknown and the unseen. Every sensor sweep, every scan, was a step into a larger and more dangerous mystery. Dr. Lena Senson's expertise in xenobiology became invaluable as the team encountered strange and unfamiliar phenomena. The Phantom's advanced sensors detected an anomaly, a faint energy signature that did not match any known FTIR technology. As the crew investigated, they discovered a massive asteroid drifting in the emptiness of interstellar space. Senson's analysis revealed signs of artificial construction on the asteroid's surface and the presence of life. This discovery was both astonishing and alarming. The asteroid was a hidden facility, possibly a FTIR research outpost. The crew knew they had to investigate further to uncover any potential threats or secrets it might hold. The Phantom approached the asteroid cautiously, its cloaking field making it nearly undetectable. As they docked with the outpost, the crew suited up in their exoskeletons and prepared for an extravehicular exploration. The atmosphere inside the outpost was a stark contrast to the cold, desolate space outside. The interior was filled with advanced machinery and strange alien devices, a testament to the FTIR's technological prowess. The crew's exploration revealed a chilling reality. The outpost was not merely a research facility, but a construction site for a massive weapon, far more advanced and devastating than the quantum disruptor. This weapon, still in the early stages of development, had the potential to obliterate entire star systems. Crawford and his team collected as much data as possible, documenting the weapon's design and the technology behind it. Their mission took on new urgency as they realized the gravity of what they had uncovered. The FTIR were not just planning to conquer Earth, they were preparing to dominate the galaxy. The return to the Phantom was fraught with tension. The crew was pursued by FTIR patrols, their presence compromised. As they fought their way back to the ship, they were forced to make a series of quick decisions, using their training and resourcefulness to evade capture. The data they carried was too valuable to fall into enemy hands. The Phantom's departure from the asteroid was marked by a fierce battle with FTIR fighters. The crew managed to fend off their pursuers and escape back into the void of space, their mission partially successful, but far from complete. The intelligence they had gathered was crucial, but the threat of the new weapon loomed large. Rising darkness. Back at the EDA command center, the data from the Phantom's mission was analyzed with a sense of urgency. The discovery of the FTIR's new weapon and their plans for galactic dominance were met with a mix of shock and determination. The EDA's leadership knew that the time for defensive measures had passed. The time for a decisive counteroffensive had arrived. Admiral Elena Ivanova convened a high-level meeting with key military and scientific personnel. The room was filled with holographic displays of the FTIR weapon, and the air was thick with the gravity of the situation. The new weapon, dubbed the Galactic Annihilator, was a threat that demanded an unprecedented response. Crawford's role in the mission had earned him the respect and trust of his superiors. His first-hand experience with the FTIR and the data he had brought back made him an invaluable asset in the planning of the next phase of the conflict. The EDA began assembling a task force to strike at the heart of the FTIR's operations, aiming to disable or destroy the Galactic Annihilator before it could be completed. The task force was a formidable assembly of human and alien allies, a testament to the unity forged in the fires of war. The mission was to infiltrate the FTIR's central command, a heavily fortified space station orbiting a distant star. This station was believed to be the control hub for the construction of the Galactic Annihilator and a critical target for the upcoming assault. As the task force prepared for their assault, tensions ran high. The FTIR's defenses were formidable, and the risks were substantial. The success of the mission depended on meticulous planning and flawless execution. The team included elite soldiers, engineers, and intelligence officers, all working together to ensure the operation's success. The assault began with a coordinated strike on the FTIR defenses. The EDA fleet engaged the enemy, drawing their attention away from the task force's approach. The task force, led by Crawford, breached the outer defenses and infiltrated the space station. The corridors of the station were filled with alien technology and the constant hum of machinery, a stark reminder of the VTR's technological superiority. As the team advanced deeper into the station, they encountered fierce resistance. The VTR guards were relentless, their alien weapons and tactics presenting a formidable challenge. The battle was fierce, with each member of the task force playing a crucial role in overcoming the defenses. Crawford's leadership and combat skills were instrumental in navigating the chaos and maintaining the team's cohesion. The team reached the core of the space station, where the galactic annihilator was nearing completion. The sight of the weapon, with its massive energy conduits and intricate machinery, was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The task force's objective was clear: sabotage the weapon's core and ensure its destruction before it could be activated. The team planted explosives and prepared for the final assault. The VTR's response was swift and brutal, with waves of reinforcements pouring into the area. The battle reached its climax as the team fought to hold their ground and ensure the successful detonation of the explosives. The dawn of a new era. The destruction of the galactic annihilator was a pivotal moment in the conflict. The massive explosion sent shockwaves through the VTR space station, crippling their operations and dealing a significant blow to their plans for galactic dominance. The task force's victory was hard-won, but it came at a cost. Many brave soldiers fell in the final battle, and the cost of the mission weighed heavily on the survivors. As the surviving members of the task force returned to EDA command, they were met with a mix of relief and mourning. The successful mission had averted a catastrophic threat, but the sacrifice of so many was a sobering reminder of the price of war. The EDA's leadership praised the team for their bravery and resilience, recognizing their crucial role in securing humanity's future. In the aftermath of the battle, the VTR's remaining forces were in disarray. The destruction of their key weapon had shifted the balance of power, and the EDA began to reclaim lost ground. The war was far from over, but the tide had turned in favor of humanity. The fight was now focused on dismantling the remaining VTR forces and ensuring lasting peace. Crawford, having survived the harrowing mission, found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought him to this point. The sacrifices made, the battles fought, and the friendships forged had left an indelible mark on him. The war had changed him, but it had also forged a new sense of purpose. As the galaxy began to heal from the scars of conflict, Crawford and his allies looked towards the future with a renewed sense of hope. The battles fought and the victories won had demonstrated the strength and resilience of humanity. The war against the VTR had been a crucible, shaping a new era of unity and determination. In the quiet moments of reflection, Crawford thought of his fallen comrades and the legacy they had left behind. Their sacrifices had paved the way for a new dawn, and their memory would inspire future generations to stand against the darkness. The endless story of the struggle against the VTR had come to a moment of resolution, but the fight for peace and justice continued. The galaxy was a vast and complex tapestry, and humanity's place within it was still unfolding. As the stars shone brightly in the vast expanse of space, the promise of a brighter future illuminated the path ahead.